This is at Kearsley Park in front. And they're putting on a Shakespearean play. I don't know which one right now today. As you see, it's pretty rainy out, so I don't know how many people are going to be showing up. But there's quite a few people. There's a few cars in the parking lot here. How you doing?
Good. What's up?
Not much. So anyway, what do you're here listening to the Shakespeare? What Shakespearean play do you know, by the way, they're doing today?
Something the 12th of never, I guess. I don't know. It's always something.
Let me lower this camera down a little bit. Let's get you in here. So anyway, yeah, we have Flint resident. I'm assuming you're a Flint resident, right?
Yeah, born and bred.
Now, what do you think about all these, the Shakespeare in the Park and all this other stuff that's going on here at Kearsley Park? Right? What do you think of that?
And I'm not trying to pause to be an idiot, but the truth of the matter is, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it's not for everybody anymore.
All right. You feel like you've been shut out or something?
Well, I know I've been shut out.
Okay. Just messing with my camera tripod here, a bipod here, monopod. Anyway, explain that to me. How do you feel like you've been left out?
First of all, let me clarify. I don't mean to be saying I've been shut out. We've been shut out. I had an organization called CLEAN, which stood for Kearsley Park, Longway, East Side Area Neighborhood. We did the first cleanups in this park, and I mean literally cleaned it up. All volunteers, all the people come in because this park meant something to them and us. It's named after one of our neighborhood leaders.
Let's see. Yeah. Its name's right above there. I just got it in focus here. Genevieve
Donnelly, yes. Little Italian lady that we didn't pay much attention to growing up, but I sure do miss her now. I'm feeling that a lot of our assets in the city of Flint are being taken by the powers to be, which you all know, and I know that most of it is not to degrade or discourage, but a lot of it's the Mott Foundation. They spread the money, but it only seems to go so far for so many. And I'm not saying everything they do is bad. I'm not even saying it's bad, but they are controlling our situation. There's no freedom for the people to come into this park and enjoy this pavilion without going through Mrs. K. Kelly's situation. And here's where I'm at. This used to be, and should still be, a free place to play, a free place to visit. With that being said, we can't come in here because we would be shoved out of our own pavilion, which I've been playing in since I was a newborn. The prices went from $50 to $100. Now it's $300 to rent it. It's ridiculous.
It's not $300. What kind of, is there different rental fees for different types of activities or events? Or?
Seriously, I'd like to tell you. I don't know, but I punched it up on the internet. I can't find much. Okay. You can't even find a clean organization, and we're the ones that started these cleanups. And I mean, we put our sweat into this. Blood, sweat, and tears.
What year was that?
We started actually cleaning on the stairs over there in 1999 after a couple of those residents got sick and tired of gunfire and kids. So we snagged some kids up and we did some good things, putting gardens in and all whatever. Our main objective was to get the use out of this park again, which we, you can say it, illegally got into the basement, cleaned it up, turned the power on, and started our initial push toward making the pavilion viable again. With that said, we had Mott come in. Only donations I got were on our t-shirts that I can say right then when we started. Miss Kelly was, she was an asset right from the beginning. I'm not going to deny her that. I love the woman. She had done some good things, but all that's by the wayside now because, and I'm speaking for myself and maybe a few others, but we were supposed to have neighborhood meetings in there. They were supposed to build this up downstairs so we could have these meetings, and nothing's ever come of it. As we got into further Kearsley Park advisory meetings, things got tense between us because personally I didn't like the way some things were going. And the powers to be bumped us out. I went from a 4-day event down to 1 day, and then they tried to take a Sunday from us. And I can go on and on. I really don't want to disclose all that. Not now, not right now, but I'm willing to talk with anybody who wants to. I still have all my last information and everything on everything I've ever done.
Phones, I get the same thing going on with me too.
So just to be short and blunt about it, I just want to get some recognition down here on this pavilion, or open this door again, or maybe even this communication, and let the people of Flint or the surrounding areas know that Mott College does not and will not own this park. This is a citizens park, and we are going to try and get involved with it again. I feel we've been pushed out, and I'm not getting pushed no more. We've done a lot of great things in here, and as a citizen, it's just been taken from us. Is it good? It's good for some. It's not good for all.
So it's like, I think that's something that's common here in Flint. It's just that some group seems to get the hold of it. They move with it somewhere. Somebody else sees the opportunity in it, and they seize upon that. They're the ones going to benefit it. They push the person who originally initiated the concept, the idea, the movement out of to the side. And then they're saying, well, look, we're doing this, and we're doing something with it. I mean, and some people are going to objection to you, saying, well, this is cultural. I mean, and I do. I like. I love
it.
Yeah, I like the idea.
It's cultural for who though?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that everybody's going to enjoy it. Is it good? No, it's great. Don't get me wrong, it's great, but it takes up whose time? I mean, if they're loving it, they're loving it. It's been 10, 12 years of this now. I like it. Continue it. And now I have to pay $300 to play in a pavilion that I've been in since I was a kid.
Now, what kind of events would you like to see take place here?
We used to do the Kearsley Park and Pork Fest.
Okay,
it was a free event.
Okay.
We had the fire department down here, the police department giving fingerprints. We started a car show. We started a barbecue cook-off. Charlie Weston down at the farmers market was one of the first winners. And here's the thing: I have history in this pavilion. We have people drive by here now, and is it being taken care of? Well, yeah, half of it. Go to the other half, And they're saying, well, we don't have the money. Well, the reason why you don't have the money, Flint, is because you keep giving our assets away. Somebody's making money here. I've tried to get a FOIA on it, and I get the door slammed in my face. Don't mess with Mott Society. I said, whatever. Charles Stewart Mott wouldn't stand for this. He's for the people. I'm not saying they're all not, but something's got to give.
Well, a lot of people would agree with you that Flint's got this track record of giving away their assets, or selling them off for very cheap, and that's, if you want to rebuild a city, if you continue doing that, their objection is, if you keep on doing that, you have nothing to build back with, and I can't say that's, I think that's pretty intelligent, it's pretty rational, it's pretty common sense.
Right.
So I mean, but a lot of people, like I said, though, they seem to enjoy this, but I mean, it's just, I can see your points. I mean, I definitely, of course, if somebody's hearing this, they're going to be doing it, obviously, on YouTube, and it's going to be up on, All Points TV's website. Well, I definitely encourage them to get hold of me, through Facebook, or to, give the counter side, or to maybe, if somebody's seeing this from, the opposing side, or the side that you think you want to talk with, and they say they want to talk with you, would you be willing to talk with them?
Sure, I have no problem with that, but understand one thing. I've been out of the limelight, if you want to call it that, for about 7 years now. My tongue is bleeding from biting it. Now, I'm not saying what's going on here is bad, and I'm not. But what I am saying is we are giving away our assets. They are charging us for street lights. This money's going to a master plan, and what if you don't agree with it? Just like my organization. I didn't want to plant green flowers or white flowers because Keep Genesee County Beautiful said so, And one of my mentors, Sybil Atwood said it best. If you want to ruin a grassroots organization, start a committee. And in order for this stuff to work, you have to keep reinventing yourself to A, get that grant money, and B, be funded by a nonprofit or whatever. And I'm not saying that's bad. It helped us too. The land bank was another thing that went by the wayside. They're doing things now that are just unheard of, and people are suffering it. And they're just suffering. I'm probably saying some things wrong, or maybe even out of context. But the truth is now I'm saying something. I've shut up for a long time. And yes, I have been very adamant, and yes, I have probably said some unruly things.
Well, see, my observation is the city leaders say they want some people to get involved, and when they get somebody involved, like you and other people I've seen around in the Flint area, they basically just want you to go along with what they already got going on. They don't want you to have any opposition to it. They don't want you to say there's a better way, or I'm not for this. I think this is ill thought out. Not thought out correctly. So that's the problem with it. They basically, it's got to be one way. After they're oblivious to it, you bring attention to it. That's what I'm getting from you. You bring attention to the problem, then they come basically push you aside, do whatever they want, and don't like any objections, and they're just puzzled by the fact that there's actually opposing views.
Well, it's not so much it's opposing. We've been pushed out of here. This is a park for the residents, by the residents. I feel now you come in here, it's almost like you got to get permission. You know, if I was to walk in here right now and sit there and look, I'd probably get chased out. I've been going to that pavilion for 50-something years.
Well,
The flag, all the cleanups, all the things we've done, it was all in honor.
we can put it up there and get
It's all in honor of the people that taught us things, our mentors, the people that are no longer there. And I personally have stepped off, and some people have fallen into grace with me because I tell them one thing, and I go to the city and say, hey, we need this done. The city doesn't do it, i.e. we're going to get this out of the way or that out of the way, and then I become the liar. Have I lied? Sure, I've lied. Have we all? It's nothing personal.
If politicians could take the people to issue that, they'd have to resign if they actually felt compelled because they're the first ones doing it.
And just so everybody knows, I'm not running for anything. The only thing I'm running is my mouth because I've lost, and we've lost, a part not only of our history, but our lives. You understand what I'm saying? This ball diamond over here, I think it's beautiful. Don't get me wrong, but Joe Average, which we are, can't play on it. And when we did, we paid fees to Kearsley that took it somewhere it shouldn't have been, from what I understand. This is a city park. That money went to why? Because they're mowing the lawn? Well, sure they should mow it. They're the ones getting the most benefit from it. You need to open these doors, people, and let us back in.
Besides, I know, a practical consideration, I mean, who actually around us can afford a mowing machine big enough to do this, or mowing machines? This is like how many acres, 100 acres?
Well, let me put it this way. How many people can take their garbage to a red truck that we paid $10 million for? Same situation with the mowers. Better yet, we're paying taxes on a park system that no longer exists, not to mention the forestry and this water fiasco. Let's go down to the Parks building down here on Riverside. Take a look at it. This money's gone, all right, because they're getting rid of all this thing so they can privatize us. Get me, folks. They want to privatize us. You will never be able to plant yellow flowers unless they say so. And this is just me speaking. I might be totally off my rocker, but I know one thing. I can't walk through this park and feel the way I used to. Can you?
I can understand your point. I mean, it's like it's been definitely, basically been shut out. That's what I can say. I understand your, I've lived around the park, I've lived a little bit further away from here, but the park's always been, and as a kid, I was going here when the swimming pool was still here. So, I mean, that was quite some time ago, before 68 even.
I ran the concession stand. The Cuevases and all of us sat at this tree.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. We were all family. The pine tree down there's still there, thank God.
Yeah, it's like,
and people say, oh, Tony, you wear this on your heart on your sleeve. Well, yeah, man, I mean, a lot of good things happen here, and there still are in Flint. But the main thing that's really pissing me off is they're neglecting the residents at the cost of what? This pavilion's nice, but you can't even use the bathrooms. They didn't fix it right. Or if you can, it's when they unlock it. If you really want to see Kearsley Park, don't go to the south side. Don't go to the south side of the park, my backyard, off of Washington Avenue. It's disgusting. I've been asking for help. I've had Ann and Nick. I've had everybody on the hill down here. Nothing's happened. And if you want to fight blight, start with the land bank. Start with the land bank. The nastiest part of my neighborhood are them damn houses they're not taking care of that are owned by the church. Okay? I got more to come, folks. I'm going to try not to wear my heart on my sleeve, but you're going to hear some things that are probably going to piss you off. And I'm not apologizing for it. And if I said anything to offend anybody, I'm not apologizing for that either. Come get it. I've got nothing to hide. I've got a lot to say. And I think the citizens of Flint need to get off their asses and come on back. Remember when I stood on this hill back in '99 and said, people, get off your asses and come clean it? You did it then. It's time to clean up a different mess now. Come on home, people. Come on home.
And thank you very much for your words there.
John.
And also, I encourage anybody who has opposing view or something to contact us, and maybe someday we can affect some kind of meeting, maybe where we can actually record it between you and people who are on the other side.
Well, I'm all for that. That's fine. But the thing is, it's not just a me thing.
No,
it's not just an I thing. It's a we thing, and it's got to start somewhere. Have I been involved? I have been. I've been burnt. And I keep saying and I hate that. It's a we thing. We used to have a great time down here. Didn't cost nobody nothing. The price of T-shirt recognition or whatever. And yes, Mott was involved. Yes, they donated for shirts. Mr. Kelly and Kay both. At one time, it was a good thing. But I think it was a move to separate and make this a profit or whatever. I still don't know what they've made here. I know that the park is getting clean, but why isn't the city doing it? Because they sold their mowers, they sold their garbage truck, they sold their soul. They want somebody else to do the work that they say they can't do. No, they can't do it because they got rid of everything. They don't want the responsibility. Do you? So let this keep going on. You know where this money's going and where it's coming from. It's not going to the people. So
it's coming from us, and a lot of it's coming from us in some
hey,
fashion.
who's paying them streetlight taxes? You're paying taxes on streetlights, people. What is wrong with you? How's your water? Come on, man. They don't want us in this city. You give Atwood to a college because what? You can't take care of it? No, you don't want to. You take a percentage of that money. You keep a percentage for the city and the residents that are paying taxes. Lower our taxes. You want to give an organization a freeze for 12 years? Freeze the residents' taxes for 12 years. We're the ones paying the price.
Remember in California, they did that back in the time when Ronald Reagan was a governor in the 60s, and they for senior citizens, people at a certain age, their property taxes are basically, they were basically eliminated. They're grandfathered so they didn't have to pay it, which kept a lot of people in their houses. And so, I mean, it's like, and I don't think the taxes are so horrific, but I can see your point. I mean, I just like to know where they're spending the money they are getting. And we know they're getting matching funds from this organization, from this federal agency, and it doesn't seem that, there is stuff being done, but I think the prioritization has to be questioned at times.
Yeah, who is running this show?
Yeah.
And here's the thing, take a good look, people. You know where the money's at. You know who's got it. The problem is how much is there? You know, how much did they get for this streetlight tax? It's going towards the master plan. I just found that out. The master plan, that one word master. Tell me what to do. Let me follow like the puppet that I'm not. It's not going to happen. My neighborhood is depleted in the last 10 years. We walked them streets with brooms. We've cleaned it. Some of the elderly are still there. And I'm getting pissed now. Because when I turn the corner in my neighborhood, I start crying. Because it's disgusting. And money's going places. I'm not saying it doesn't belong there, but you need to spread this wealth. You understand? Thank you.
Timed it perfectly there.
Well, I'm not disagreeing with this per se.
Right.
But you know what? How much of this is really going around to people?
Yeah.
How much of this is really costing us?
Right.
So that's where I'm at. Is it a good thing? Yeah, it's a good thing. But how much of it is ours? This is still our pavilion. You got to pay $300 to use this for a day? Why? Oh, I know. If I'm a church or a nonprofit, I could probably get it for free, right? Okay, answer me. You know what I'm saying. We sat on this hill and fought together, and you push certain people, i.e. me, in the face, and I'm back. I just think that the city's taking things way out of proportion. You give Salem Housing a $400,000 loan break. You just forgave them for it. For a nonprofit, you just forgave them $400,000. Do you know what $400,000 could have done in my 4th Street neighborhood? And just like I'm telling you, Kearsley, back when you first started your land bank situation, take our neighborhood, make it one of your Brownsfield stations or whatever, brownstones or whatever they call it. Brown knows it. Take our neighborhood. It would have been great to do that with. And now I'm coming back and forth in this scum. How's it going, young man?
Good.
In this scum. And we can't drink the water. We've got 2 street lights I'm paying $700 something for. And let's not get on Genesee Towers. Might just give them $200,000, but it cost me $750 in taxes to tear it down, and that was just me. Am I going to get a piece of that lot? Can I set up a tent on it? Concession trailer? What am I getting back? Not to mention the Journal. Farmers Market's nice, but that's been in the works for a long, long time. You know what I'm saying? The powers to be. The floor I worked on is in the window at MSU. Beautiful. Is it bad? No, I'm not saying it's bad, but spread it around.
I agree with you on one thing. So they seem to have a tendency to want to concentrate in just a few blocks in a city. The rest of the city can go basically to seed. That's
well,
what
I'm
they
not
look
gonna lie.
at.
I sat in a land bank, and it's been a while. Don't get me wrong. A few years back, I sat in a land bank auction, and I watched a group of people buy up blocks and blocks of these houses, and they went in and selected the ones they want, and they let them go back. That's not working. That's not good. I've got churches now, and I'm going to say this. Correct me if I'm wrong. No one seems to answer me now. But I've got churches who are tax exempt that own how many houses in the neighborhood? How are they doing this? Go in my neighborhood. In fact, I'm going to take you in my neighborhood, and I'm going to show you the destruction that this church has done. And I think it's intentionally. Call me a liar. I'm not lying. I'm living it. They are tax exempt. They're getting these houses, and they're not paying for it. And the land bank was designed to put these houses back on the tax bracket. They have not done it by giving it away to nonprofits, churches, and organizations that do not pay taxes. Now, have they all done bad with them? No, some of the houses are beautiful. Not in my neighborhood. Come on in. And I'm back behind taxes because of a situation that was out of my control in bankruptcy, because you can't tell somebody in bankruptcy about a bill because it's against the law. You owe this. Well, you can't tell me that for 10 years or 5 years? Bullshit. So I'm going to lose all my stuff that I've built, and I say me and my wife, who's crazy now, don't want to deal with any of this. You don't see her, because I have an unfinished story to tell. And I'm not saying that everything's bad, but a lot of things are not good. You're not going to get this park without a fight from Mr. Palladino. And I'm not trying to make a threat or whatever. I love Kay and what they've done it sometimes, and I'm not saying it's all her, but I know some people are in position to take, and some are in a position to give. And I'm giving you a note right now. I'm tired of seeing this go like it's going. If you don't like the way things are, change them. Well, we tried to change them. If you want to see how this park looks, you'll see where the money is. It's not on the south side. Understand what I'm saying? You got all these ball diamonds, they're nice. Try and get into them. You'll have the cops on you. Oh, I mean, Mott Security.
Yeah.
So.
Anyway, well, thank you again, Tony. And,
All right, John,
and I'll put this up on YouTube and also put up on our All Points TV, and I'll send you a link. I'll see if I can, afterwards, after we wrap this up, I'll see where I can send it to you so you can see it and send it out, okay?
Okay, and let me just say one thing. I appreciate the time. I know it sounds like I'm venting, and to an extent I probably am, but the truth of the matter is some things need to be said. Is all this bad? No, it's not all bad. I mean, come on, look at it. The park is being mowed. Well, we mowed it too. The city gave away a lot of our assets. Some of them were mowers. A lot of them were buildings. Some of them were parks. Am I willing to work? I've already paid my dues. Are you willing to work? You going to get paid for it? Because someone's getting paid to do this. Someone's making money off this pavilion. Someone's making money off this park. Someone gets to say, hey, come play ball for Mott now. They didn't have the place to do that. Give it back, guys. Open that ball diamond up so everybody can play on it. Them fields are too short. You knew it when you built it. Fix it. Fix it. Love you, Tony Palladino.